Leader turns 92 today. President Mugabe is expected to spend the day with close family ahead of a huge public bash said to cost some $800,000 or 12 million rand next weekend. His birthday is significant in more ways than one this year.
Zimbabwe President Robert Mugabe cutting more than half a dozen cakes to mark his 91st birthday. The $1 million bash held in the resort town of Victoria Falls was attended by diplomats, party loyalists and youth. Among the many presents given to President Robert Mugabe to mark his 91st birthday, this 1955 Ford Montero, his first vehicle. And in return, the veteran ruler is giving back a present to his supporters, white-owned farms.
Lots of safaris, very few are African. The majority are white.
15 years ago, often violent land takeovers of white-owned farms left Zimbabwe poorer, politically isolated and dependent on food aid. Western countries have gradually eased sanctions against the country in return for political and economic reforms. But now President Mugabe is warning of a return of those invasions in agro and tourism businesses.
We are now going to invade these forests. Our people cannot be suffering and even suffering from sanctions by the United States, where the United States has lots of land occupied by their farmers.
The recent purge of senior party officials, including the former Vice President Joyce Mujuru, was a sign of the friction in the party between the reformists and the hardliners. Mugabe has said he will also target the remaining white farmers that he claims were being protected by these party rebels, as he tries to create a legacy of championing black empowerment in his remaining years in office. Shingai Nyoka, SABC News, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe.
And for more on this story, we now head back to Harare in Zimbabwe, where we are joined by our correspondent there, Shingai Nyoka. Shingai, nice to chat to you again. First of all, is President Mugabe still celebrating his birthday as we speak, and how different are the celebrations this year?
Well, good afternoon to you, Obrel. As you mentioned, the president is turning 92 years old today. But traditionally what happens on his actual birthday is that he spends that time with family and friends. What we're expecting is a very public and very extravagant birthday bash next weekend in Masvingo. It's the organizers, which is traditionally the youth wing, have billed it as a historic bash. We're told that they've been trying to raise funds of about $800,000 US, which is about 12 million rand, to fund this. And so really that is the time when he's going to come out, meet with people, as well as deliver his birthday message.
We understand, Shingai, that President Mugabe's traditional birthday interview has been scrapped for this year. Is there any reason for that cancellation?
Well, what we've been told is that there's been so much happening in the country, and that he really had been forced to reschedule it because the former Tanzanian president was around, President Benjamin Mkapa, and really that was the excuse that we were given. But you'll be aware that there was a lot of upheaval in the party last week. There was a clash between white police and war veterans, and he later did address these particular issues on Friday, but there really hasn't been the traditional birthday interview. Many people have speculated that it's because of all of this that's been happening that he probably needed time to speak to his party members before making any kind of pronouncement.
And with President Mugabe turning 92 and, of course, getting closer to the end of the road in office, is the succession battle also deepening within his own party, ZANU-PF?
Well, it has, and that's what we've seen over the last week, is that despite the fact that last year he fired the former Vice President Joyce Mujuru on the pretext that she was planning to topple him, as well as other senior officials, there was a hope that maybe things would stabilize. But really what we've seen here is that even as he turns 92, the issue of his age is fueling this succession battle as well as the factionalism. And that really, it's over the last week or so, we've seen it coming out into the open on social media, to the extent that he told his party members to stop using the social media as well as the regular media to vent their problems, and that in public they should present themselves as united. But we really haven't seen a cessation of these open hostilities between factions within the World Interim Movement, as well as factions that we understand support the First Lady. And really what we understand is that unless he learns a successor, the uncertainty will continue and people will continue to jostle for positions.
All right, thank you so much. That was our correspondent in Harare, Zimbabwe, Shingai Nyoka.